I was like, holy shit, I've been 197, 8 days, like almost 200 off of it. So yeah.
Are you telling me that there's an app for you to track the days that you don't ejaculate?
Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Suman.
Welcome back to the Better Man Podcast.
With Ivan and Suman.
Yeah. And the crowd goes wild.
Hey, you guys better not be simping out there.
Don't be simping, stay pimping.
Yo, today's topic is the wonderful question. Is masturbation good for me? Ooh, that question was submitted by a listener. No, it wasn't actually. We just came up with it like 10 minutes ago.
I'm sure one of our listeners is probably wondering though about it. I'm sure. Maybe collective consciousness, you know? Yeah, interesting topic. Are you beating your meat? There's so many words for it. You choking your chicken? I don't know. Are you tweezing your frog? I don't know.
Yo, by the way, Sumed, this is what you said. This was your 200 and something. No semen retention.
Yeah, it's almost 200. I have to check my app. I downloaded an app and then I forgot about it. So I got really upset because I was like counting the days and shit, you know, and then I never really got it. So then I just downloaded an app, kind of forgot about it, and then revisited it because I haven't been, you know, ejaculating since that time. And then I was like, holy shit, I've been 197, 8 days, like almost 200 off of it. So yeah, I'm gonna probably make a YouTube video when I get to 200.
Dude,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Are you telling me that there's an app for you to track the days that you don't ejaculate? I want to know. I just want to know because it's pretty cool.
Yeah. There is. I think it is.
That's cool, dude. That's cool. I'm happy.
I think it's called MDR or something like that. But yeah.
Bro, how do you not know what it's called? It's on your phone.
It has a weird name. It's like MDR. Yeah.
MDR.
It looks like a volcano. It's like a little. The logo looks like a volcano because when you bust, you know, it's like a volcano. So.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, and they have Nofap Quotes on there. So like every day they have like a different quote. So if you want to use that, you know, you can like change your wallpaper to it of like a Spartan telling you this quote or something like that. I kind of just forgot about it, you know what I mean? And I just left it there. But it was really useful, I noticed, more than counting the days. Because this is the longest I've gone in a while. Like, but I'm noticing, yeah, almost a year. And I've noticed that, you know, a lot more energy, a lot more clarity, a lot more female attraction, kind of the basic stuff that people tell you based on semen retention, Nofap. And I definitely think that people have to differentiate between masturbation and self-pleasure, because I think they're two different things.
Can you expand that?
Yeah, so I would say like self-pleasure is much more ritualistic. It's much more sacred. You're getting to know your body. It's not just like, I'm just gonna nut, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna get through with this. It's much more like in training you for more like getting into a flow state, practicing much more transcendent sex. It's kind of like you being in the dojo with yourself, and it's much more personal growth based rather than like, you know, I'm about to nut because I feel like I saw a titty or whatever.
Yeah, you saw some hot girls like nipples poking out from her shirt.
Yeah.
You just got
you went down the rabbit hole.
heebie-jeebies running through you, you know?
yeah, the heebie-jeebies word, the spidey senses.
Interesting, very interesting. I follow this guy, and he's a tantric sex facilitator. And tantric sex is is more than
Is it-
just sex. But
Is it Cam Frazier? No.
no.
Okay.
But any guy that's gone to Bali, it's a white guy, and he has like long blonde hair.
They always do.
They all look the same. They all look the same, bro. They have
Let's
some
be honest.
picture. Bro, they have some picture on Instagram with their butt cheeks hanging out, and they're like under a waterfall. You know what I mean?
Right. There's a theme for sure. Yeah.
There's an archetype. There's an archetype. You know?
Archetype for sex tantra coach.
So, so basically, he said in his post, he had a picture and he was like on his bed, like with his head like hanging on the side, you know, kind of like. And he's like, oh, release today. I had been holding it in for a very long time, and you know, after it sort of feels like you lose your strength, you lose your power, and there's a kind of fear that he was talking about. I was like, interesting. I guess, you know, it's very true, very right.
Like the refractor.
But at the same time, you like I do agree with what you said. Like more like, so there's a difference between like the ritual and the compulsive behavior.
Yeah.
Right. Because I sometimes use masturbation in sex magic. Right. For
That's
manifestation.
Powerful.
Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, the other day, dude, I swear to you, dude, I had an orgasm with somebody else across the world. And I wasn't even talking to him. I can tell you, dude, when it happened, my navel chakra opened up. I was like this. Like you know, like when the fucking how did I explain it? Like when someone goes super Saiyan,
Iron Man. Yeah.
Right?
Super Saiyan. Yeah.
And then let me back up. And they go like this.
Yeah.
I tell you, that shit happened to me.
That's what happened.
Wait. And then the world started vibrating, right?
Damn.
Like everything was going. And I could feel, dude, I could literally feel how my energy was shooting outwardly. Like my vibration, I could feel it go like outside of my body, like 1 foot outside of me, and it was going.
Yeah.
And I was
wild.
like, but I didn't have anywhere to sit down, so I had to
Were you like on the floor? Like,
no, I was just against the wall.
okay.
Not to get too descriptive here.
Right.
But yeah, so that's your manifestation.
So were you focusing on your manifestation? I mean, your outcome as you were doing that?
Yeah, you know, like that's what you gotta do sometimes. I was focusing on this person, you know, this person. Not gonna name. But just so you know, little female out there, I know. Okay? And if you think it's you, don't say nothing because it's probably not. All right? Don't get excited. Oh yeah, so what I was gonna say, I've had times for sure where it was compulsive. And it was like, it was like the same. You'd see a titty and you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Right now, right? But this is what I found out. I'm really excited to share this with you guys because what I'm about to tell you is gonna blow your head away, both of them. Okay, so the sacral chakra, which has to do with feeling, right? As the identity of feeling. When it is not nourished, when the child is not nourished, the kid is not nourished, it's not shown affection, it's not touched. I mean, you know, there's moms out there where they're like, they do everything for their child. Take them to the soccer game, clean the clothes, make the food. Their child has everything that they need, right? Except physical touch, right?
Yeah.
The skin is the biggest organ in the human body, right?
Yeah.
And it's very important for the child to receive plenty of affection, plenty of appropriate affection. You fucking pedos out there, fuck you.
Fuck. Yeah.
And what was I gonna say? And actually, the sacral chakra also has a lot to do with boundaries, right? Personal boundaries, right? People who have a weak or deficient sacral chakra tend to have very weak boundaries and tend to have a difficulty even like understanding where somebody else's boundary is and not just their own. In general, they've come up in this sort of enmeshment, right? And they tend to be.
I'm just getting.
What's up?
I'm just getting a download right now. So you mentioned how it's like helpful in boundaries, right? So I notice this a lot with creative people or sensual people who have overactive sexual chakras, that they need boundaries, right? They need some kind of structure to follow. Otherwise, they're just going to like go everywhere and do everything and kind of get lost in their own heads, in their own creative imaginations. So in a way, it's kind of like balancing out. The sacral kind of gives you much more of a freedom in the boundary itself.
Okay, watch this. The root chakra has to do with earth, with being solid, right? Your sacral chakra it has to do with the element of water, with fluidity, right? Splash life. And but check this out.
Okay, go ahead. I had a thought.
Here's my water bottle, right?
Yeah.
The water is inside of the container. It's within a boundary, right? Look at this. I'm gonna do this for the purpose of explaining it, right? Now this is the element of water, right? I'm gonna hold it in my hand, and you see that's a very weak boundary, right? Very weak. That's a very weak boundary, right? That's basically what somebody with a deficient sacral chakra is. It's like it's spewing, right? They don't have,
they don't have the container, right? Yeah.
Let me get an apple to clean this up.
So like, right. I was just thinking for the purpose of the podcast. By the way, guys, for the listeners out, he just put like water in his hand and like, got it on the floor. But anyway, I was thinking like the combination of earth and water would be like mud. You know what I mean? So like, it would be like a mud chakra.
A mud chakra. It's the in-between chakra that we talked about.
Yeah. It's the in-between. Between earth and water.
I tell this to people all the time.
Really?
Actually, I don't. Actually, I don't tell them all the time. I told them too that the space in between something determines the relationship, right? And so I told this guy, perhaps you need to focus in between your navel and your sacral chakra, right? Because a lot of times we disconnect them from each other, right? But really they're one. So it's finding the connection in between them.
Yeah. I love that episode of Avatar Airbender where like the guru is explaining the 7 chakras and how he explains it is like these different kind of like water can't flow from one stream to the other. So there's like little leaves that he shows in the water that are like kind of clogging it up. But then when you remove the leaves, like there's a pure channel between all of them.
Yeah. So what tends to happen with somebody with either a deficient person will more often than not will seek for things to connect them and help them feel again, right? Because they've become numb, right? So that's where the compulsive masturbation comes in, where they're trying to feel again.
Right.
And they also tend to smoke a lot of weed or drink a lot of alcohol to help them connect back into their body and be more present, right? Helps them learn to feel again.
Yeah, and in terms of the masculine archetypes as well, like people who are more in the magician or the wizard to the extreme would be like, let's say, very, very addicted, or the addicted wizard would be trying to do the same thing. Like they would be coping with different like substances, trying to, because they have so many tools and so much magic that, they're kind of trying to ground themselves or earth themselves back in terms of these different things that they're doing for themselves. So when people take it too far, you become like almost the manipulator rather than the magician with all the tools, right? That's the shadow side of the wizard. So yeah, kind of relating it back to archetypes. But yeah, that's what someone told me recently, which was interesting. Yeah.
What was I saying?
You're saying about the addictions.
Oh yeah, and then someone with an overactive will tend to party a lot. Will tend to have a lot of sex. And the problem here is that by themselves, they're not able to give themselves the energy that they need. So for them, whenever they've got problems, is they rather spend time with other people and be around other people, because then they can feed off of that energy, right? And they'll feel good, right? Once they're by themselves, they don't feel good.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm reminded by this, like there's this TED talk by this addiction specialist. I think it was Johan Hari was his name. And he said the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. And so like for a lot of people, what we do is we shame addicts and they become more disconnected from society, right? So we're actually not helping them. What needs to be happening is much more of a community around like people who are, that's why Nofap is such a powerful community, right? It's like all these guys who understand like, yo, this is a problem for me and I need to find other people who are experiencing the same thing.
What I would tell somebody, and recently, I haven't smoked or anything like that, or drank. Actually, I don't even drink alcohol, I don't smoke or nothing like that. Though I used to. I just noticed it just, when you first do it, you feel alive, you feel more connected. Then you have to start doing more and more and more just to get that same feeling, and eventually you don't feel like that anymore.
Yeah, it's true, man. And it's also like I've noticed when your vibrations start to rise, it's like you almost don't really need it that much. It's like it's okay if it's there, like I'll have a glass of wine or whatever, but it's like not, that clawing feeling where it's like I need it to be able to be social or whatever, like some people use it as like a crutch or like a coping mechanism. I think that's what addictions are. They're just like self-administered pain medication.
Yeah, they're just like I said, everything in your life is a symptom of your energy. Wait. I came up with this morning.
Yeah.
It's everything in your life is a symptom of your system.
Nice. Very true. Yeah, I always say that we don't have people problems, you have a systems problem. Yeah. For real.
When aliens talk about humans, they call them mind, body, soul complexes.
That's awesome. I like that. Mind, body, soul complexes.
That's how they describe them. And recently, this guy it's not a guy, it's an alien from the Galactic Federation of Light he was like, things might get worse financially out there. So he was like, split your money into cash and bank numbers and two other things, right? But he said bank. He said no. He said computer numbers right? Which is like the bank, like, you know,
computer numbers. Yeah. That's really interesting to think about how aliens would look at human, you know, technology and systems. And I'm sure a lot of human technology is alien technology, or at least inspired by, could be. You know, but I would say like the world isn't ready yet. You know what I mean? Like maybe in the 50s the iPhone could have existed, but the collective consciousness was saying, nah, this is not possible. That's kind of weird, you know? And so it never really kicked off. So until the world was ready for the iPhone, it wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean?
You know, it's crazy because the technology is so advanced. Like, way, like the technology that companies are making is way advanced than what we have now. They're not.
Yeah. They're just not putting it out there yet. And I'm also like thinking about like military technology, you know, that's hidden, that we don't even have access to, or we don't even know about. Like certain, you know, aspects of society that've kept it, you know, away from the public. And now they're coming up with like, you know, the Pentagon is even releasing like videos of UFOs. So now it's sort of like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
very interesting.
We got a bit off topic here. I want to kind of get back to the topic.
Yeah, we're talking about addiction, right, and masturbating. Yeah, do aliens masturbate? Linking the topics together.
The grays, the ones that are the stereotypical, bro.
The grays.
Bro, that's funny. You're fucking funny, bro. The grays, they don't have genitals. They're the ones with the big heads and the big eyes that everybody.
Oh, they don't have genitals?
No, dude, they don't have sex. They
But
envy
then-
humans.
But then don't you normally get like this stereotype of like aliens wanting to probe you? I thought like aliens were like into anal and shit.
Bro, I don't even know where that came from, dude.
Where did that come from, bro? Like, what the fuck? I think people are just scared. It's some repressed homophobic thought or some shit that this guy got into the collective unconscious.
Dude,
just like-
dude, that's pretty spot on because
Yeah,
like,
you think that's what it is?
For some reason, people are like scared of their asshole. A lot of people are scared
Yeah.
of their own asshole.
Yeah, bro. They're actually scared of it. Yeah. It's funny.
It freaks them out. But anyway, there's a lot of shame around it for sure. There's a lot of shame.
For sure. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that the male G spot is inside.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really weird, actually. Yeah, I know, like, you know, I don't know how. Going so
and
off
it's
topic.
crazy. It's
But I was
crazy
thinking, like, you know, ass eating, like, you know, how that's a trend now. But after COVID, I don't know if that's gonna be a
I don't
thing.
see why it would be a problem.
Yeah, maybe immunity boost too.
Bruh, probably not that either. But yeah, I was gonna say, interestingly, society tells men to be tough, but what they mean by tough, and I totally agree, men should be tough motherfuckers. You know.
Yeah.
But what they really mean by it when they're saying that is that they should be numb. That's literally what they mean, right? For me,
Yeah.
it means completely different. Strong mind, strong body, strong spirit. All these little pussy-ass motherfuckers out there with their fragile little spirits, getting all fucking hurt. I don't like you. Let me rephrase that. I don't like who you think that you are.
I like that rephrase. That's powerful, man. Yeah, for sure. And I think that, you know, a lot of men feel that, you know, they're just an ATM, and a lot of women feel like they're just a piece of, like, they're just a hole. And I think that once we come to the understanding that we are so much more than those labels, I mean, that is like, you know, what society kind of programs and like shows us is like men making a lot of money and like Handmaid's Tale women, like, you know, reproducing or whatever, but being mothers. And it's true. But like, when you equate it down to one thing, I think it stops the stream of possibility. You know what I mean? So the thing is like, yeah, you as a man want to make money so you can take care of your like your world, your family, and like all this kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, you can't let that be the only thing that defines you, you know, because that's just an expression of you and your energy. And the same thing for a woman, it's like, yeah, just because you have a vagina, like that does not mean that, you know, you're you're a woman in a sense. You know what I mean?
You know,
So
fuck it. That, you know, you make a good point. And I think this point definitely applies to a lot of people that are in the higher, wealthier side of things, right? There's a lot of people who they got Ferraris, Rolexes, suits, and the girls, they're gorgeous, got their tits done, amazing ass, sexy, beautiful hair, soft skin, right? But they're just like, the guys are like, they are missing a connection. I'm not saying all rich people are like this, but I'm saying there is a group of people who have reached a high level of a financial success, and there's beautiful women out there who look for these men, right, and in exchange share their bodies, right, who only want to have mate with a partner that is well off. Right now, this is the part that is really fucked up. You might think, well, shouldn't a girl want that? Yes, but that shouldn't be what she mainly looks for.
Yeah.
What I say she should mainly look for, of course, she should feel safe and she should feel protected and have everything that she needs to survive. But she should be with somebody who is aligned with her purpose and her path.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I think the system of like the guy who goes to work and then gets stressed out, and the woman who stays at home and takes care of the family and then gets stressed out in that arena, and then the guy comes back home and then they're both stressed out, you know what I mean? And then it's like, are we gonna fuck? You know what I mean? And that energy is there too. And I see it, you know, I see so many marriages and families. It's like the male just wants to be like, yo, I came back from a hard day where I just want to bust a nut, you know, and the girl is just like, yo, I'm so stressed out, I'm frustrated, I need someone to vent to and talk to. So if male and female communication styles were the same, it would be easy. It's like guys like, yo, you want to fuck, babe? Yeah, let's go. Boom. You know, but it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So it's like there needs to be like the male energy is kind of like a fireman, right? It's like we want to solve an issue. If you're like complaining to me one day, I'm like, yeah, but what are you going to do about it, bro? You know what I mean? Like I listen to you, but then we need to solve it. That's the male communication style. But for a woman, it's like they can express for hours and vent and allow that space to just permeate, you know, and be in that space for a long time, just gossip, complaining, stories, you know, enchanted ideas, and be there. And if women don't give men a warning sign that, babe, I'm about to vent right now, are you ready to be my container? Like that would make things, you know, run smoothly. But yeah, what are you thinking right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think a man should be present and just listen. He doesn't have to say anything. He can just go, oh, she said that.
That reminds me of like this episode of like Two and a Half Men.
But he has to actually be present, not just saying those things.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's an episode where he was just like, I understand. And like listening to this other, like his brother's wife's problems, ex-wife problems. And he was just like, I understand. And everything she would say, he's like, I understand. But he wasn't really understanding. He was just saying it, right? And then he got to a place where like, I thought you said you understood. And he was like, I don't know, I was just saying that. You know, so it could lead you into certain issues down the line if you're not really paying attention, I guess. But that's what the male consciousness also loves to do. It loves to just like zone out, you know? I've noticed that in myself too. It's just like, it likes that feeling of just being like, whoa. All right. That's trippy. What did we start off talking about?
Bro, we were talking about masturbation. Sacral Chakra is not really.
Right. Okay. Let's bring it back to that.
Okay.
Do you think? Okay. Go ahead.
Something that we have to know is that when the sacral chakra is hurt, it tends to go. That person tends to spend more time in the sixth chakra, which is your third eye, right in between your eyebrows, a little bit above. And they go less into the feeling and into the imagining feeling.
So kind of like a fantasy.
So a lot of times, like I said, they go numb. What that moody person, when you ask them, "Hey, what's wrong?" They'll say, "Nothing." And in actuality, means nothing. They have absolutely no clue why they're upset, but they know they're upset. And that's a symptom of being disconnected from your feelings.
Yeah. So you're saying that numbness has a language of just like nothing, but it's like underneath that there might be something, but it's just filtered through the lens of the numbness. It's almost like desensitized, or let's say not fully processed. Yeah.
Yeah, undeveloped. It's
Undeveloped. Yeah.
It's undeveloped.
Yeah, it's like a child maturing, how they slowly develop over time. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, the sacral, I know that kind of like basal energy of like lust, when we feel attraction towards someone, it's like there's this primal drive, especially for men. Like if we notice a beautiful woman walking, we're gonna notice her. You know what I mean? Like our biology just like tells us that. You know what I mean? Whereas for a woman, I'm not so sure. Do you think that a woman reacts very specifically like that too? Like if a dude walked in with abs and like was just like,
not always. She could admire. She might admire it, but she won't. A lot of times, if that guy's not really cool, it won't go past that.
So, in terms of this, like, okay, let's kind of stick back to topic because it's kind of going in a weird direction. But I was thinking about like, status. Like, if you're a guy who's masturbating, what is that saying about your status? You know what I mean? Because it's like,
it would just say that your status is in shame and guilt, because right. I think a lot of these people who are chronically masturbating, they feel bad afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. I think first, like stop that part. Stop shaming yourself. Stop feeling guilty. Right. Now I wanted to point this out when men see a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're like, oh, go talk to her. Oh, I don't really feel like it. You begin to rationalize, not following your feeling.
Yeah.
Right. We've been conditioned to not follow our feelings. Oh, I don't want to go to university. It's not for me. I'd rather start a career and get a mentorship. Oh no, you gotta go to university. You have to be a doctor. And it's like,
it's so funny, yeah.
So like one time I remember this guy, we just broken up with his girlfriend. This is in London, quite a few years back. It was a friend of a friend. And he was like, he had just gone and he fucked somebody, and we were picking up from the house, and he was like, I don't know how I should feel. What do you mean you don't know how you should feel? There is no right way to feel here. Like, so
that's the kind of rationalizing as well. It's like they feel like there's a right and a wrong way to do something. Yeah. What's the right way to feel,
and
you know?
that tends to happen with kids who were raised by people who would tell them, oh, you shouldn't feel that, right? Or let's just say someone got angry. Oh, you shouldn't feel angry. You shouldn't be angry. Oh, don't be sad, right? You have to reclaim your right to feel. It is your right. And that right's been taken away by many people.
Yeah, you got to give yourself permission first. Yeah, for sure. And it's like I watched the show. It's like a story of Ramdev, one of the spiritual leaders in India. And there's this like scene where he's a young kid, and like this guru talks to him, and he's like, you see that spider making the web up there? Like, is he doing a wrong thing or a right thing? He's like, he's doing a right thing, right? And then he's like, well, notice how the spider's like falling off that wall, but he keeps just making his web. You know, every time he gets knocked down, he keeps making his web again. And so technically, when we're on the right path, sometimes the universe tests us, right? And like gives us obstacles, but that just means that we're on the right path. So I thought that was a really unique way of like looking at it. You know what I mean?
Very true. Yeah, I wrote that in my book, actually.
Yeah.
If you remember. I talked about walking on a trail. I was talking about walking on a trail. As you walk to the trail on the top of the mountain, you might encounter snake, poisonous leaves, falling rocks, right? Maybe a wolf, right? And that's just what happens as you're on your way to your goal.
Yeah.
And if there's no problems, it means you're not on the way to a goal.
Yeah, true. Because if you're in one place, there's no challenge or no discomfort whatsoever, right? Yeah, true. Awesome.
What else can we say? What else can we talk? I mean, to be honest, there's a lot we could say, but I'm not so much in a talkative mood today. Honestly, I kind of just feeling like chilling right now, just like sitting down in silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Let's kind of end with a meditation. We can both kind of say a few things in terms of people, you know, who are going through masturbation. Maybe they're getting urges. We can guide them through something that will help them kind of, you know, get rid of the urges or whatever. All right. So you can start it off.
Oh, you want me
to? Okay, I can start it off. Okay. Wherever you are, just get comfortable. If you're driving a car, please, you know, park. You don't want to crash. Yeah, so just slowly be conscious of your breathing, if it's slow or if it's fast. And just slowly notice what your sexual energy feels like within your body, and how it travels throughout the body. And feel the expansiveness and feel the power of that energy. It's a creative life force energy. It's the power to create a new life. And right now it's just a seed. Now you can waste that seed, or you can cultivate that seed. And that urge to ejaculate is just telling you need to come back to your oneness and your connection with the unified field of everything that ever is. Yes, she is beautiful, but so is a piece of furniture, so is birds in the sky, so is clouds, so is fill in the blank. So you can't always put a butterfly in a jar. You can just appreciate it for what it is and not feel the need to do anything with that energy. You can be replenished by the feminine energy and let it awaken you into divine masculine potential.
Now, I want you to imagine an orange light in your balls. An orange light. Bring your attention to your testicles and the strength that lies there. And take a deep breath. And say out loud, I have the right to feel.
I have the right to feel.
Now take a deep breath. Say, you have the right to feel.
You have the right to feel.
Taking a deep breath in. He has the right to feel.
He has the right to feel.
Deep breath in. Now bring your attention to your feet. Feel your toes. The weight of your leg pressing down. And take one more deep breath in.
As you inhale this time, I want you to imagine taking in all of the different false frames of the world based on the kind of guy you have to be, false frames of what it means to masturbate or self-love. Just breathe all of that in. Hold it. And let it go with a sigh. You are enough. You'll always be enough. You are you, only you, and nobody else.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Better Man Podcast, the world's best podcast. Share this with your friends. Take a screenshot. Do something with this information that was presented to you. Have a nice day.
And cop both our books. Peace.
And cop our books, really.
Yeah.
If you would like to contact Sumed for peak performance coaching, go to @FlowZone Academy on Instagram. That's FLOZONE Academy. If you would like to connect to your higher self, contact Ivan at odd.resilience. That's ODD.resilience. Also, make sure you follow the Better Man Podcast on Instagram. See you next time.